politics, business, sports, and international news. This is news from around the world. This is news from around the world.
Hey guys, check this out.
Every night, stories develop. So no matter where or how you want to end your day, the Evening Rush is here, keeping you informed, safe, and educated. Take a deep dive into all the stories live from wherever you are. Let's talk news in a way that makes sense to you. The Evening Rush, weeknights from 6:15 p.m. only on VOP 96.1 FM Abuja.
Here we go. Hey, my name is Jesse. My name is Adam. We're from El-Rufai.
Today's hit music. I-93.
VOP 96.1 FM.
We'll be right back in a second, so don't touch that dial.
People, can I have your attention, please? You say, tell us the news, and now, here it is.
Voice of the People, 96.1 FM.
Now, you have a voice.
Good evening. This is the World News at 6 on Voice of the People, 96.1 FM. My name is Gesire Agua. Here are the top stories. Tinubu to address world leaders at UN General Assembly, September 19th. Ministry of Justice says no budgetary allocation. Army commander warns Nigerian soldiers against disobedience. On a foreign scene, 70 reported dead in fire in South Africa's Johannesburg. In the world of sports, Wenner left out of Germany's squad for friendlies. Details of the news coming up in just a moment.
News from around the world. The big stories and what's behind them. Politics, business, sports, and international news. This is news from around the world. This is news from around the world.
Welcome back to World News. We begin with Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu, who will address the 78th session of the high-level general debate of the United Nations General Assembly, UNGA, at the UN headquarters in New York on Tuesday, September 19th. It was reported that Tinubu, in his first outing to the Assembly, will be addressing world leaders in the evening of that day. The Nigerian president will be the fifth African leader to speak on day one of the gathering, according to the speakers list from the Office of the General Assembly's president. According to that list, Tinubu will be the 14th speaker out of 20 leaders slated to speak on the first day. The South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa, the 10th speaker, will be the first African leader to speak in the morning session of the Assembly. In the afternoon session, 5 African leaders are expected to address the gathering. The Nigerian president would deliver his statement around 6 p.m., 11 p.m. Nigerian time, to the world leaders during the afternoon session. Still in world news, the Solicitor General of the Federation, Beatrice Jedi Agba, said the Ministry of Justice has not received any budgetary allocation for the settlement of judgment debts. Jedi Agba, who is also the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Justice, made this known in Abuja at a dialogue on accessing remedies for human rights violations in Nigeria. The event was with the theme Strategic Dialogue on Accessing Remedies for Human Rights Violations in Nigeria, which was organized on the sidelines of the ongoing Nigerian Bar Association conference in Abuja. Jedi Agba, represented by Enoch Simon, a director in the litigation department of the Attorney General of the Federation's office, said since 2019, the Federal Ministry of Justice has not received any budgetary allocation for settlement of judgment debt. The Solicitor General cried that in spite of the available legal framework in the country, the timely prosecution of fundamental rights cases and enforcement of the resulting judgments remain the major challenge for the government. Still in the news, the General Officer Commanding GOC 81 Division, Nigerian Army, Major General Mohammed Usman, has warned that Nigerian armed forces will not condone disloyal soldiers. Usman, while issuing the warning, asked soldiers to be loyal to the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the country, and the constituted authorities at all times. The GOC, in his address at the 35th Artillery Brigade, Alamala, Abeokuta, Ogun State, urged soldiers to be professional and exhibit total loyalty in how they carry out their responsibilities. He also told them that their loyalty should always start from the president down to the top hierarchy of the armed forces. Usman said this in wake of the military coup spreading across African countries, with Gabon the latest to have one on Wednesday after that of Niger Republic, which took place in July. Still in the news, the Armed Forces of Nigeria says the ongoing counterinsurgency and counterterrorism operations across the country remain critical to the armed forces' efforts to achieve peace and ensure that violent extremist groups do not find safe haven in the country. The Director, Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, stated this today while briefing the defense correspondents on the ongoing military operation across the country. He noted that during the week leading to the August 31st, 2020, arrested 157 terrorists and 16 perpetrators of oil theft. Troops also rescued 109 kidnapped hostages, and denied oil theft of the sum of 765,863,000 naira only. Major General Buba added that the armed forces will continue to work with supportive groups to defeat any group undermining security and safety in the country.
The military will continue to pursue aggressive military operations against violent extremist groups seeking to undermine the security of the country and conduct violence against the people. Accordingly, the armed forces remains focused on its core mission and will continually make adjustments along the way to better protect citizens while isolating and annihilating those groups constituting a security nuisance to the country.
In other news, the Minister of Police Affairs, Ibrahim Gaidam, has said there is the need for police ecosystem to collectively address the issue of response time to distress calls by Nigerians to enable citizens to enjoy the safer environment in the country. He made this known during the official briefing at the Acting Inspector General of Police IGP Kayode Egbetokun at the ministry's headquarters in Abuja. In a statement signed by the Deputy Director, Press, Bolaji Kazim, the minister said this can be achieved through the effective use of technology, interagency collaboration, the building of mutual trust, and proper management of information. Gaidam said the ministry needs to establish a standby force of at least 3 units of the police mobile force in each state command. Meanwhile, the Minister of State, Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, said the presentation of the IGP was holistic and forward-looking, which will be very helpful as the ministry crafts a way forward towards achieving renewed hope policing agenda of President, which is very ambitious. Iman, while stressing on community policing, pointed out that intelligence-driven policing is non-negotiable and the police force must be seen as a technology-driven organization. In his presentation, the Acting Inspector General of Police IGP Kayode Egbetokun congratulated the ministers for their appointment, adding that the entire police force is excited about the choice of Mr. President and has confidence that the day ahead would be very good for Nigerians. In business sector, Lagos government has paid 644 retirees 2.02 billion naira retirement benefits in August. This was disclosed during the 101 retirement bond certificate presentation ceremony in Lagos today, which was attended by retirees of the state. Speaking at the event, the Director General, Lagos State Pension Commission, Babalola Obilano, said the retirement bond certificates symbolized more than just financial rewards, but represented the trust and confidence Lagos had in its retirees. Today, the admission of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu will present another set of 644 retirees, with the sum of 2.02 billion naira only being their past service benefits prior to the commencement of the contributory pension scheme in 2007. He said the certificates were testaments to the lasting impacts they had made. You've been listening to World News at 6 on Voice of the People 96.1 FM. After the break, Foreign Stories.
It's our legacy.
Nigeria must be cool. The labor of our heroes past must never be in vain.
It's your mandate.
Our allegiance is to the people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and not to any political party or any political actor.
News from all around the world. Voice of the People 96.1 FM.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Moving on to the foreign scene, a nighttime fire ripped through a rundown 5-story building in Johannesburg that was occupied by squatters and homeless people, killing at least 73 people in South Africa's biggest city. Some of the people living in a maze of shacks and other makeshift structures inside the building threw themselves out of the windows to escape the fire and might have died then. 7 of the victims were children, the youngest a 1-year-old, according to an emergency services spokesperson. As many as 200 people may have been living in the building, witnesses said. Emergency crews expected to find more victims as they worked their way through the building, a process slowed by the conditions inside. Dozens of bodies were lined up on a nearby side road, some in body bags and others covered with silver sheets and blankets. Johannesburg Emergency Management Services (EMS) spokesperson Robert Mulaudzi said another 52 people were injured in the blaze, which broke out at about 1 a.m. on Thursday in the heart of Johannesburg's central business district. In a related development, 15 people, including a 3-year-old child, were killed when a fire ripped through a house used as a clothing factory in the Philippines. The blaze broke out in the 2-story building in Manila, where 18 people were inside the suburban house at the time of the inferno. 3 people escaped, but the rest died, including the owner of the house and the business. The cause of the blaze was still under investigation, Banaga said. The building had a business permit for trading in shoes and bags, but instead was being used to make and print T-shirts. It had only 3 declared employees. On the entertainment scene, the conductor, Sir John Elliot Gardiner, has withdrawn from all engagements until next year to undergo counseling after an allegation of assault. Sir John previously pulled out of a media proms after being accused of hitting a singer who had exited the stage in the wrong direction. In a new statement, he apologized for the distress he caused. The conductor's agency, Intermusica, said he deeply regrets his behavior and will be undertaking a brief period of reflection, and in consultation with his medical advisors will be focusing on his mental health while engaging in a course of counseling. This will include an extensive tailored course of treatment, and he asks for space and privacy while the program is ongoing. They continued. Last week's incident took place at a festival in France where Sir John was leading the Monteverdi choir at the Orchestre Révolutionnaire et Romantique in a performance of Berlioz's opera Les Troyens. Now to sports. Hansi Flick has left regulars Timo Werner and Leon Goretzka, but included Arsenal's Kai Havertz out of the Germany squad for September's friendlies, while Brighton's Pascal Gross received his first call-up. 9 months before Germany hosts Euro 2024, Coach Flick decided against bringing back veteran Thomas Müller, while captain Manuel Neuer continues his recovery from a broken leg. Bayern Munich